Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, former U.S. President Joe Biden is diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. The Commission on Elections is set to proclaim the winning party list today. In the NBA playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder rout the Denver Nuggets to advance to the Western Conference Finals. And Filipino-Austrian singer JJ receives a hero's welcome in Vienna after winning this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. His office says cancer cells have spread to his bones and that the Biden family is reviewing treatment options. The findings came after the former president saw a doctor last week for urinary symptoms. Last July, Biden, who's 82 years old, was forced to drop out of the 2024 presidential race over concerns about his health and age. It followed a poor debate performance that dismayed even his fellow Democrats. Biden is the oldest person to hold the office in U.S. history. Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis draws an outpouring of well-wishes from both sides of the aisle. President Donald Trump says he and First Lady Melania are saddened to hear about his health battle. Trump wishes his predecessor a fast and successful recovery. Secretary of State Marco Rubio also says he and his wife are united in prayer for the Biden family during this difficult time. As for Biden's former Vice President Kamala Harris, she says she is sure that he will face the challenge with the same strength, resilience, and optimism that have always defined his life and leadership. Meanwhile, former President Barack Obama notes nobody has done more to find breakthrough treatments for cancer in all its forms than Biden. Obama is certain Biden will fight this challenge with his trademark resolve and grace. The FBI has identified the primary suspect in the bombing near a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California. Authorities believe a resident of 29 Palms, a city in San Bernardino County. 25-year-old Guy Edward Marcus was behind the blast that happened on Saturday. He appears to have died in the explosion as he had been trying to live stream the attack. 4 others were injured in the incident.
The subject had nihilistic ideations, and this was a targeted attack against the IDF facility. Make no mistake, we are treating this, as I said yesterday, as an intentional act of terrorism.
Moving now to the Vatican, where Pope Leo meets the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, underscoring his concern for the war in Ukraine. The meeting happened hours after the Pope was officially installed as the leader of the Catholic Church. Earlier, Pope Leo greeted world leaders after his inaugural Mass, where he called for peace and unity. Among those present were the Prime Ministers of Canada and Australia, European royals, and the U.S. delegation led by Vice President J.D. Vance.
In the joy of faith and communion, we cannot forget our brothers and sisters who suffer from the wars. In Gaza, children, families, elderly survivors are starving. In Myanmar, new hostilities have claimed innocent young lives. The martyred Ukraine finally awaits negotiations for a just and lasting peace.
Here at home, exactly a week after the May 12 polls, the Commission on Elections set to proclaim the winning party lists this afternoon. Our Joan Manalo joins us from the Manila Hotel, where the proclamation will be held. Joan, what are we expecting today?
My 54 party list groups are set to take a total of 63 seats in the House of Representatives following the results of the 2025 midterm elections. The Commission on Elections and the National Board of Canvassers is scheduled to proclaim the winning party lists at 3 o'clock this afternoon. These groups received the highest number of votes in the recent elections. COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia earlier announced that the top 3 party lists will each earn 3 seats in Congress, and those ranking 4th to 6th will each secure 2 seats, while the remaining qualified party lists will receive 1 seat each. Based on the National Certificate of Canvass, Akbayan party list led the race with 2,779,621 votes, or 6.63% of the total 41,658,790 votes cast for the party list. This marks a major comeback for Akbayan, which failed to win a seat both in the 2019 and 2022 elections. Joining Akbayan in securing 3 seats each are Duterte Youth, which received 2,338,464 votes, or 5.57%, and Tingog with 1,822,708 votes, or 4.34%. Meanwhile, 4-Piece Act, CIS, and Ako Bicol are expected to receive 2 seats each. These top 6 party lists will occupy a combined total of 15 seats in Congress. However, Garcia earlier announced that the proclamation of 2 winning party lists has been suspended, one with 3 seats and another with 1 seat. He's yet to announce the party list concerned. This move came after pending cases and serious allegations were raised with regards to the said party list. Mai.
Joan, if those 2 party lists will not be proclaimed today, what will happen with the vacant seats?
Mai, according to Garcia earlier, one of the party lists whose proclamation was suspended was due to a 2019 case that is yet to be resolved by the poll body. So he emphasized that it is unfair for the party list to be proclaimed while these cases are ongoing, discussions are ongoing. So they also need to consider the serious allegations that need to be investigated and resolved. So with that, Garcia emphasized that these party lists will not be proclaimed. However, it is not assured that the other party lists below, or those that didn't hit the mark, the 20% mark for the party list to go in Congress, will take the spots of those unproclaimed party lists today. Mai.
Thank you, Joan Manalo, reporting to us live from the Manila Hotel. In a surprising upset, voters in Paranaque's 2nd District chose former party list Representative Brian Yamsuan over the long-standing Tambunting political family. On Billionaire News channels at the forefront, Congressman-elect Yamsuan vows to prioritize livelihood programs over traditional aid. He says he will also leverage his national connections to bring more resources to his district.
Marami nagsasabi ng gano'n, pero sa akin kasi ang biggest ko talaga dito is talagang magbaba ng sapat na programa dito sa ating distrito. Kasi yung background ko sa national government, yung connection ko, yung sayang kung di ko magagamit siya para makapagbaba ng mas maraming proyekto na makakatulong dun sa ating mga constituency. Kaya minabuti ko na Congress na lang ang takbuhin ko dahil unang-una, based dun sa background ko sa national government, saka ng mga naging trabaho ko, mas maging effective ako as a legislator and as a parang conduit ng ating syudad dito sa national government.
Yamsuan also advocates for stricter accreditation of party list groups to ensure genuine representation.
It's an administrative matter for the COMELEC to really decipher on how they accredit party list representatives and party list yung mga groups. But more so, kailangan i-police na rin natin on our own. Kung baga, to start on our own, the party list groups should really put forth na talagang tayo na mismo mag-ayos. I think sa party list coalition, it should start there. Na, boss, pag naglagay tayo ng nominee naman, kailangan naman yung medyo hindi na kamag-anak para at least bumalik lang yung tiwala ng tao.
The Employers Confederation of the Philippines urges newly elected legislators to provide more budget to micro, small, and medium enterprises. On Billionaire News Channel's Business 360, ECO President Sergio Luis Ortiz said little assistance to the development of MSMEs is currently among the top complaints of Filipino employers. He believes the government may not be lending enough due to problems on budgeting.
We are now amending the Magna Carta for MSME. We hope that they will really consider putting budgets there.
Meantime, he said he sees an improvement in the upper house with the ushering in of business-oriented legislators.
For the business sector, I think the entry of Senator Lacson again will be a big help because especially in the area of budget making. No? Let's leave the politics now. No? Tapos na election. Concentrate na tayo sa where it matters.
Incoming Congresswoman and House Prosecutor Laila de Lima slams Vice President Sara Duterte over comments she wants a bloodbath in her impeachment trial. De Lima says the statement is part of the Duterte camp's, quote, mindless arrogance and toxic rhetoric. She adds if any blood is spilled, it can only be that of the person impeached, not the prosecutors or senator judges, and also not the administrations and the peoples. De Lima further stresses an impeachment trial is not a show of brute force, but a sacrosanct constitutional process of accountability. She warns contempt awaits the Duterte camp should they orchestrate chaos, drama, and theatrics. Drama in Dasma, the president and CEO of PNOC Renewables Corporation, John Arenas, in hot water. More than 60 wealthy residents of Dasmariñas village have signed a petition calling for his immediate removal from the interim board of the village association. This after he was filmed losing his cool during an altercation with car enthusiast Windy Imperial on election day. The dispute allegedly began after claims that Arenas ordered the closure of a door leading to a polling precinct inside the exclusive subdivision. Arenas denied the allegation. Both Arenas and Imperial have sons who won council seats in Makati. Martin Arenas under the ticket of Congressman Luis Campos and Dino Imperial under the slate of Mayor-elect Nancy Binay. Farmers in Negros Island still reeling from the effects of Mount Canlaon's restiveness. Several evacuees also support calls for permanent relocation sites. Paulo Barcelon has the full story.
Wilboy is just one of the many farmers who plant around the Canlaon volcano. He paid a brief visit to his crops, especially that window hours are back again from 6 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Wilboy admits recovery won't be easy, especially since his crops were damaged when the volcano erupted on May 13.
Ubos.
Naubos? Bakit, sir? Pwede nyo nga po sa amin bakit naubos?
Kaya kuwas mga abaw na igos mga abaw ba. Yan katong abaw nga ito mao gito makahulog og kapatay sa tanom.
Glenn, on the other hand, spent the day harvesting squash together with the farm owner. Even with a good harvest, they're still facing big losses, not just from the volcano's damage, but from another setback. Their squash farm needed a capital of around 50,000 pesos, and that's already taking a hit even before they fully harvest their squash patch.
Sana makauwi na kami this month or next month para mag-focus namin yung sarili namin sa pagpa-farm namin. Dahil kahit 6 PM pa nga sir or 7, nandun pa kami sa farm. Kaya hindi katulad hindi kagaya ngayon na minsan 4 to 5 nandun na kami sa evacuation sir eh.
So hindi nyo na nababantayan halos?
Hindi na sir. Minsan pa nga ninanakaw yung namin gulay.
These are just some of the crops that were planted inside some of the many plantations inside the 6-kilometer danger zone that's part of Canlaon City. The city government says around 28 million pesos worth of crops were damaged due to the May 13 eruption of the Canlaon volcano. For those living near the 6-kilometer extended danger zone, going back shows signs of just how long they have been living outside of home. Take Aling Caridad and Erame, for example. Aling Caridad, who's from La Castellana, went back to clean her house, still riddled with decors from Christmas, while Erame clings on to hope as they spend nearly half a year in their evacuation center in Canlaon City.
Kung sakaling man na hindi mahupa siya, okay lang man na makabalik kami dito, pero kung sakaling nga mas lumala pa yung ano niya, ubutin na lang siguro nga ma-relocation site na lang kami Kay yung magpaputok, parang nahihirapan ka kung saan ka patungo.
Mayroon talaga akong paniniwala na hindi kami pababayaan ng Diyos. And then ito ay temporary lamang, hindi ito pangmatagalan. Alam ko na basta may paniniwala ka lang sa Diyos, kahit anong problema or pagsubok na dumating, hindi yan ibibigay ng Diyos sa iyo kung hindi mo kakayanan.
Officials in nearby cities are now checking effects after May 13's eruption, such as long-term solutions for water sources and quick replenishment of already depleted response funds.
Our quick response fund for 2025 is only 13 million.
1-3.
Yes, 1-3, and it was already depleted last March 4. Because every day we have expenses for the food alone that is more than 1 million. Kasi hindi lang kami nagre-rely sa food packs ng DSWD, but we also provide different ingredients for the IDPs.
Yung monitoring namin is not only the fishes are affected but also the water source of some sitios specifically in Barangay Sagang of our municipality. So we're still monitoring and assisting, coordinating with the barangay, wherein if merong mga reported na nagkakasakit, ng dulot ng pagkain ng mga affected ng mga isda sa mga affected rivers.
Aid continues to arrive in the different cities and towns as Negros Island continues bracing itself for what the locals call the Big Bang. Until then, the work continues and life goes on, even as communities continue reeling from the effects of successive eruptions. In Negros Island, Paulo Barcelon, Billionario News Channel.
We're taking a break. Up ahead, the Oklahoma City Thunder are headed to the Western Conference Finals in the NBA playoffs. Sports and entertainment up next. Stay with us. Time now for sports news. In the NBA playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder are charging through to the Western Conference Finals. The Thunder zapped the Denver Nuggets in Game 7 of their semifinal series right at home in OKC. Final score 125-93. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander electrified the Paycom Center with 35 points on 3 out of 4 shooting from long range. 4 other OKC players scored in double figures, including Jalen Williams, who chipped in 24. SGA and the Thunder will next face Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. Here at home, the rain or shine Elasto Painters have ended the perfect run of the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Elasto Painters dealt the Hotshots their first loss of the conference Sunday, 119-105. Best player of the game, Santi Santillan, powered rain or shine with a double-double of 17 points and 13 rebounds plus 3 shot blocks. In the first game, the San Miguel Beermen dominated the Terra Firma Jeep 128-89. Mo Totua and CJ Perez each scored 17 points for SMB, while best player of the game, Rodney Brondial, delivered 16 markers and a career-high 22 rebounds. From the hard court to the squared circle, boxer Charlie Suarez is awaiting the result of his team's appeal following his controversial title bout against Mexican fighter Emmanuel Navarrete. The California State Athletic Commission is expected to issue its verdict on June 2nd. Suarez lost to Navarrete by technical decision in their WBO junior lightweight title match in San Diego earlier this month. The fight was stopped in the 8th round after Navarrete suffered a cut, prompting officials to halt the bout. Suarez says he's open to a rematch if the decision is reversed in his favor.
Kung tanghalin man ako maging W Junior Lightweight Champion, i-award sa atin yung belt, ay gusto kong ibigay din yung rematch sa kay Emmanuel Navarrete para mas maganda pa kasi naudot yung laban namin. So mas maganda pa yung laban na maipakita namin sa taas ng ring. Kung magkataon na mag-rematch kami, pag-igihan namin ng team ko at pag-usayan at magandang laban at siyempre manalo at magwagi sa laban namin.
In entertainment, Filipino-Austrian singer JJ takes the win in the world's biggest music competition. The 24-year-old beat 25 other competitors during Eurovision's grand finals in Switzerland. He earned the continent's votes and won ahead of Israel with his operatic pop anthem, Wasted Love. This marks Austria's only third Eurovision victory since the competition began in 1956. Upon returning to the country Sunday, JJ was greeted with hundreds of cheering fans. He says he will forever cherish this moment.
No, I am still in shock. I don't understand what happened. This was crazy that I'm holding this trophy right now. It's insane. I think it was the blend of, pop and classical, and also my training that I have that made us win. And also me staying in touch with the audience and the emotion, trying to deliver it how I was feeling in that moment. And I think that really touched the audience and the jury. And so I'm very, very happy about that.
Prior to Eurovision, JJ was also on The Voice UK in 2020 under the mentorship of will.i.am. Mark your calendars once, as K-pop girl group Twice is set to make a comeback. Twice announced the release of their fourth full-length album titled Intro 4, which will drop in July. The teaser video shows the 9 members in matching blue outfits with the word 4 written on their skirts in bold white letters. This marks Twice's first full album in almost 4 years, following Formula of Love in November 2021. And Nicole Kidman is honored with this year's Women in Motion Award at the Cannes Film Festival. The Oscar-winning actress was recognized for her push for gender equality in cinema. Back in 2017, Kidman pledged to shoot with a female director every 18 months. She has now worked with 27 of them since then.
So happy to be here supporting Women in Motion and being supportive of women's voices in cinema. And all of the people here tonight are obviously incredibly supportive of that too. So I'm just glad to be able to be here, and I'm just an advocate and want to continue to keep moving forward with that, with my pledge from 2017, so it ain't over.
In the last 10 years, the share of women directors increased to only 13.6%. from more than 7% among the top 100 box office films in the U.S. And those in the news this hour, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Billionaire News Channel. Good afternoon.